Over the past 24 hours, the Russians have carried out 15 airstrikes and conducted 45 artillery attacks. In addition, Russian forces shelled 50 localities. I spoke with the German Chancellor, Olaf Scholz. I thanked him for the delivered Iris-T air defense system. We discussed the possibilities of increasing German support to Ukraine, especially in rebuilding our infrastructure after Russian bombing attacks. 4 Russian missiles fell on Mykolaiv at night. Civilian infrastructure was destroyed. 1 person was killed and more than a dozen were wounded. I remember when the ceiling fell on my head. Emergency workers pulled me out from under the rubble. I was just in the emergency ward. I have concussion. I don't know where to go now. Yesterday, volunteers delivered humanitarian aid packages to residents of Donetsk. The area around the city is mined, so only some humanitarian organizations are reaching nearby towns.
To get here are quite dangerous because there are still landmines and these kind of small grenades in the ground because here was a lot of shelling.
In Kiev, more than 20,000 people are still without electricity. Power services are working around the clock to restore power. Water is also in short supply in the capital. Recent missile attacks have deprived most of the city's residents of access to utilities. The Russians have destroyed almost everything in Ukraine. This is their reason to be proud. The difference is that we can persistently stand in line, while they would not be able to handle it. Therefore, it is we who will have the last word in this war. The lack of running water is the least of my evils. I can still come to get water. The other thing is that people I know are still dying. That's a problem. The Russian army fired on civilian tugboats towing a grain barge near Ochakovo. 2 crew members were killed in the attack. We are unable to provide adequate protection for our watercraft because the Russians are constantly conducting air attacks. We need air defense, such systems that can be installed on ships accompanying convoys. What happened near Ochakovo is a blatant terrorist act. Meanwhile, authorities in London are considering delivering tanks to Ukraine. In addition, Kiev is also expected to get financial support to repair its energy infrastructure in the near future. To date, the British government has provided £220 million in humanitarian aid to Ukraine.
Missiles again struck Kyiv and other cities, destroying critical national infrastructure and depriving Ukrainians of water and electricity. Earlier today, I spoke to our ambassador in Kyiv, and I heard again of the extraordinary resilience of Ukraine's people.
Over the past 3 months, the Russian government has made a series of political and economic decisions ensuring the state's ability to wage war in Ukraine. According to economists, putting everything on the proverbial one card plus extensive United States and European Union sanctions is a recipe for galloping inflation and years of deep recession in Russia.